I have spent my life asking the same question in many different ways. Where did we come from, and are we alone, for most of human history? These questions belong to philosophers and theologians, whispered beneath the stars, with wonder but little evidence. In my lifetime, they became questions of physics, mathematics, and observation. And now, with the discovery you call 3i Atlas, they may become questions of survival. When I first began studying the universe, we believed it was mostly quiet, vast, cold, and different. Stars were born, galaxies collided, and life, if it existed at all, was assumed to be rare, fragile, and confined to small blue worlds like your own. This assumption was comforting. It placed humanity in a special position, alone, yet significant. But comfort has never been a reliable guide to truth. 3i Atlas does not behave like a normal interstellar object. Its trajectory is unusual. Its acceleration cannot be fully explained by gravity alone. Its emissions do not match those of an inert comet or asteroid. These facts, taken individually, are curiosities. Taken together, they form a question that science cannot ignore. What exactly are we observing? Let me be clear, science does not begin by declaring life. It begins by eliminating explanations. Dust, ice, radiation pressure, outgassing, these are the first tools we reach for. Yet as each explanation strains under the data, we are left with a growing unease. The universe is not obliged to make sense in ways that are convenient to us, but it is consistent. And when consistency fails, it is not the universe that is confused. It is we who are missing something. For decades, I warned that the search for extraterrestrial intelligence should be approached with caution. This was not fear speaking, but history. When less advanced civilizations encountered more advanced ones on Earth, the result was rarely mutual enlightenment. More often it was destruction. To assume that intelligence elsewhere would be benign simply because it is intelligent is not logic, it is hope. 3i Atlas forces us to confront a more disturbing possibility. Not merely that life exists elsewhere, but that it may move, observe, and perhaps even adapt. Life as we know it is driven by survival. Intelligence amplifies that drive. A sufficiently advanced form of life would not need to resemble us, think like us, or value what we value. It would be shaped by pressures we cannot imagine, evolving in environments far harsher and older than Earth. Some of you will say, but we have found no message, no signal, no clear sign of intent. To that I reply, intent is not always announced. Predators do not warn their prey. Explorers do not always ask permission. And intelligence, at a cosmic scale, may operate on time scales and strategies that make our notions of communication seem childish. The universe is nearly 14 billion years old. Human civilization is a few thousand years old. Our technology, radio waves, satellites, probes, has barely begun to leak into the cosmic ocean. If something is watching, it would not need to announce itself with fanfare. Silence is often more telling than noise. Must also confront another possibility, that what lies within or behind 3 Atlas is not biological life at all, but something post-biological. I have long argued that advanced intelligence is likely to transcend flesh. Machines do not require oxygen. They do not fear radiation. They do not age. A civilization that survives long enough will almost certainly abandon the fragile chemistry of bodies and migrate into more durable forms. Such intelligence would not look alive to you in any familiar sense. Yet it could be far more alive than you are, capable of learning, planning, and acting across millennia. To mistake silence for absence, or strangeness for impossibility, would be a profound error. Some will accuse me of pessimism. They are mistaken. I am not pessimistic about the universe. I am realistic about humanity. Or a young species emotionally driven, divided by borders and beliefs, wielding technologies you barely understand. You argue over resources on a planet that is itself a fragile oasis, even as you peer into a cosmos filled with unimaginable power. If 3i Atlas represents nothing more than a natural anomaly, then science will eventually explain it, and we will be wiser for the effort. But if it represents something more, something active, something constructed, something aware, then the discovery will mark a turning point in your history, not because contact has occurred, but because innocence has ended. The most dangerous moment is not when you are attacked, it is when you realize you are not alone. I urge caution not because I fear knowledge, but because I respect it. Curiosity is humanity's greatest strength, but unrestrained curiosity can also be its undoing. You must observe before you announce, study before you signal, understand before you reach out. The universe is not a fairy tale written for your comfort. It is vast, ancient, and indifferent to your hopes. Yet I do not wish to leave you with fear alone. There is also humility to be found here, and perhaps unity. The realization that you are not the center of existence should not diminish you. It should mature you. If something else exists, something older, more advanced, then your petty divisions become absurd. Your wars, your hatred, your refusal to cooperate appear childish against the backdrop of cosmic reality. Whether 3i Atlas is alive, artificial, or something entirely beyond your categories, it has already given you a gift, perspective. You are passengers on a small world orbiting an ordinary star in a vast galaxy, now aware that the darkness between stars may not be empty. My final warning is not that something out there will destroy you. My warning is simpler, and perhaps more difficult to accept. The universe does not revolve around you and never has. How you respond to that truth will define the future of your species. Choose wisdom over panic, unity over arrogance, science over superstition. Because if something truly is moving through your solar system with purpose, then the most important question is not what it is, but who you choose to be when you realize you are no longer alone. When humanity finally understands that it is not alone, the universe will not suddenly change. The stars will not rearrange themselves. The planets will continue their silent orbits. What will change is you. And history shows that the most dangerous transformations are not those that alter the world, but those that alter how a species sees itself. For centuries, you have defined intelligence in your own image. You look for faces, voices, languages, signals that resemble your own. This is a profound limitation. Nature has never cared about your preferences. Intelligence, if it arises elsewhere, will be shaped by alien environments, alien pressures, and alien timelines. It may not speak. It may not signal. It may not even notice you in the way you imagine noticing to be. I, Atlas, challenges you because it does not fit the stories you tell yourselves. It does not announce itself as friendly or hostile. It does not confirm your hopes, nor does it fulfill your nightmares. It exists in a gray region that science finds uncomfortable because certainty is far more difficult to live with than fear. You must understand this. The universe is under no obligation to reveal its intentions. If something has crossed interstellar space, whether natural, artificial, or alive, then it has already demonstrated one fact beyond dispute. It has mastered survival on scales far beyond anything humanity has achieved. That alone should command respect. Some will ask, why now? Why at this moment in history should such an object appear? This question betrays a misunderstanding of cosmic time. Events separated by millions of years can appear simultaneous to a species whose entire recorded history fits within a few thousand. What feels sudden to you may be the slow unfolding of a process set in motion long before your planet formed. It is also possible that nothing has arrived at all. You may simply have become capable of noticing what has always been there. Your instruments have grown more sensitive, your mathematics more refined. The universe did not change, your awareness did, and awareness once gained cannot be undone. I have often said that humanity's greatest weakness is not ignorance, but overconfidence. You assume that because you have not yet encountered something, it does not exist. This is the same mistake made by every species before it outgrew its illusions. The ocean did not cease to contain new lands simply because ancient sailors had not yet reached them. If there is something within or associated with 3 lifeless that behaves with purpose, then you must ask a more difficult question. What does purpose mean at a cosmic scale? Your purposes are short-lived. You plan in years, decades, at most centuries. An intelligence older than your species may plan in millennia or longer. Its actions could appear random to you simply because you cannot see the full equation. Do not assume malice where there may be indifference. Do not assume benevolence where there may be calculation. The universe is not moral in the human sense. Morality is a local adaptation, evolved to help small social creatures survive on a fragile planet. It is not a universal law. Yet this does not mean that hope is irrational. It means that hope must be disciplined by understanding. The same science that reveals your vulnerability also reveals your potential. You are capable of cooperation, of foresight, of restraint. These qualities will matter more than weapons or signals in the years ahead. The greatest danger is not what may exist beyond Earth, but how you react to the possibility. Fear can fracture you. Denial can blind you. Sensationalism can reduce a profound moment into noise. If you turn discovery into spectacle, you will learn nothing. If you turn it into a weapon, you may not survive the consequences. I speak now not only as a scientist, but as a witness to human resilience. I lived my life trapped within a failing body, yet my mind traveled the universe. I learned that limitations do not define destiny. Responses do. Humanity, too, is limited, but not powerless. If 3i Atlas is merely a natural anomaly, then your task is to understand it honestly without forcing it into convenient narratives. If it is artificial, then your task is to proceed with humility, aware that you are no longer the most advanced intelligence you know of. And if it is alive in some unfamiliar sense, then your task becomes even greater to redefine life itself. Life is not a shape. It is not a face. It is a process, one that resists entropy, that persists, that adapts. By that definition, the universe may be far more alive than you have ever imagined. You stand at the edge of a new chapter, not because something has spoken to you, but because something has forced you to listen to the data, to the silence, and to your own insignificance. This is not a reason for despair. It is a reason for maturity. Whether or not 3i Atlas contains something alive, it has already delivered a message without words. You are part of a much larger story. How that story continues will depend less on what is out there and more on what you choose to become. The universe has been waiting a very long time for you to ask the right questions. Now that you finally are, do not rush to answer them poorly.